Dear students, good morning and welcome back to one more session. Today in this session I am going to explain to you about the second concept of your first unit. Yesterday we have seen the first concept, that is nothing but the introduction to quantitative techniques. Today the second concept is meaning and definition of quantitative techniques. What is meaning? Meaning is the actual nature of the subject. Here you are going to understand the nature of the subject. Now let us see the meaning of QT. QT is the management tool that which is having the combination of both mathematics as well as the statistics. So if you have seen the meaning of QT, QT is the management tool that which is having the standards of both the mathematics as well as the statistics. It is the combination of both mathematics and statistics. Here you are going to have the fundamentals of mathematics as well as the fundamentals of statistics. Very often people think that mathematics as well as statistics both are same, but actually these two are completely different from one another. Mathematics, it is separate, and coming to statistics, it is also separate. When you combine both mathematics as well as statistics, that is called as quantitative techniques. So coming to the nature of quantitative technique. So coming to quantitative techniques, it is not at all a blind belief, but it is a logical and scientific approach. What is a logical and scientific approach? Suppose if you have taken 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. It is logical. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. And scientific approach also. Why? Because there is a procedure and there is acceptance. Even if you go to Japan, even if you go to America, everywhere these standards are same. And they are not going to be varying from one area to another area. It is fully derivative. What is the meaning of derivative? Derivative means calculation part. Here the quantitative techniques are completely derivative, but it also has the basis of theorem. Before going to do the calculation part, you should understand the concept that is called as theorem. So without the theorem, there is no possibility of doing the calculation part. Now let us see what is the procedure of quantitative technique. Actually, for the development of quantitative techniques in the business, you will be taking the past data. That means last year data, last month data, last week data, yesterday data, past data you will be taking. And you are going to adopt the techniques of QT, and finally you are going to make the decisions whether it is good or bad. If it is good to adopt that, if it is useful, you will continue the same technique for the next. If the technique is not useful, if it is defective, you will be avoiding it. That means there are certain measurements. What are those? First you will take the past data and you will analyze its outcomes, whether it is good or bad. If it is good, you are going to be having the continuation. If it is defective, you are going to avoid that method. And coming to the another half of the concept, it is nothing but the definition. So coming to the definition of quantitative techniques, QT is the approach of mathematical and statistical programming in order to make an effective decision. Why do we have the quantitative technique? In order to make an effective decision. How do you do? By approaching the mathematics and statistical programming. And another definition, if we have seen, QT are the techniques that provide the decision making routes through a systematic and powerful means of the calculation. See here, there is a systematic approach and also powerful mean also, from which you are going to take this from both the mathematics as well as the statistics. Now let us see another definition also. Here it has been defined. QT is defined as the research that which study and analyze the past data and make the future decision. Just before I explained you that this is the process of taking the past data and you are going to analyze the past data in order to make the future decisions. So this is what exactly the concept of meaning and definition of quantitative techniques. With this, the second concept of your first unit is completed.